Hey guys, it's me, Vinny B, and usually my videos are very happy, but today is not a happy day, because I have to review Sing 2. Sing 2 is the biggest disappointment of the year. And if you can't tell by watching my channel, I am a huge fan of the Sing franchise. I have a poster of Buster Moon in my bathroom. That's how big of a fan I am. But what did I really think of Sing 2? Well, let's get into it. First off, the choice of music. Sing 1 had some of the most iconic songs I ever heard. Sing 2, I couldn't sing. There were no songs that I listened to that I knew what they were. Every song in this movie was foreign to me, and it made me wonder, who picks the songs for the sings? But let's get into what I really thought. Second verse, same as the first. For audiences that enjoyed the first installment, Sing 2 should prove another endearing diversion. But I disagree. If you're looking for some singing, dancing, animated fun, Sing 2 delivers. But what do I really have to say about that? Well, let's think about it. The problem is Sing 2 exists to make audiences happy with its candy-colored visuals and toe-tapping soundtrack. That shouldn't hide the fact that it's lazy. Luckily, each character will once again have guaranteed opportunities to shine. But Sing 2 is glossy, and probably quite expensive. What with all the music licensing, and the big-name voice cast, including Matthew McConaughey and Scarlett Johansson, but it's almost completely devoid of character. And that's one of the things I look for in the Sing franchise, because the first movie did a wonderful and delightful job of giving us characters. At least you'll come out whistling. Sing was a success, and that is what Sing 2 repeats. And in a lot of ways, it feels like repetition from the first movie. Sing 2 has a decent batting average when it comes to its sense of humor, which is supported by its multiple winning musical numbers. Guys, the music in this movie is fantastic. Every song is one that you'll know. There's probably no need for a third film, though, but audiences who are already fans of the first Sing will enjoy the music in Animal. Sing 2 works because it elated to uphold story and intelligent comedy. It dares to enter the dark worlds of show business. My favorite animated movie of the year. Guys, Sing 2 delivers in a way that Sing 1 just couldn't do. But my problem with that is that goofy antics continue in this colorful movie. Guys, the color in this movie happens. Is it possible I want to cry because of how good this movie is? It exceeded my expectations completely. I enjoyed it so much. What an awesome movie. But let's talk about what doesn't work for Sing 2, and that's the voice acting. Matthew McConaughey is not a koala, and there's something about that that just doesn't handle the delivery. Just as much, Taron Egerton is not a gorilla, and he has a hard time figuring it out how the dichotomy of a gorilla works. Just as much, Scarlett Johansson is a terrible porcupine because she's not actually a porcupine. But enough of this negativity, because guys, the music was great, and it's an excellent family film. A good family fun movie with great music. Maybe the beginning was a bit slow, but actually really pulled it together in the last half. Very satisfying ending. It's cute, funny, moving, and inspiring, with great energy, story, and you too. Guys, Bono in this movie is some of the best acting Bono has ever given, because Bono plays a lion, and that lion, Lance Callahay, is really tragic. And that's really the heart of this movie and when it worked the best. Because it made me and my family's day watching this movie. And it's the best movie I've seen in a long time. Very funny, entertaining, and great for the fam. And it is aimed more for children. And I recognize that. But the problem is, you have to critique children movie in the way that you critique adult movies. Because if you don't, they get away with making bad movies like Toy Story 4 and Rugrats in Paris. These movies have to deliver on their promise of upping the ante. And Sing 2 doesn't do that. And one of the reasons why is because it got rid of Seth MacFarlane as Mouse. And that, guys, is my favorite character and why I love the Sing franchise as much as I do. I also grew up with the franchise. I have always had a soft spot in my heart to Sing. And as some of you may know, I am very, very musically inclined. And in some of my movies, like Spider-Man, I sing. And I sing songs like Vindicated. And that's because I understand music in a way that most people don't. Because nobody else is like me. I am one of the best, most unique, inspired people that I've ever met. If you're dumb like a baby, then you'd probably rate this movie 2 thumbs up. But my ultimate opinion, I definitely like this better than the first Sing movie. It still falls into the category of family films that I don't really care to ever see again. But it's enjoyable nonetheless. The music really well. And the voice cast is quite impressive. One major gripe is that the trailer, which I had to see about 50 times over the last year, essentially shows you the emotional climax of the movie. I get it. It made for an effective trailer. But the impact of the moment in that film was massive. And the trailer really robbed you of that, which I don't like. And we got to talk about a bigger issue here. And that's Hollywood shoving promotion down your throat. Guys, how many times have we seen trailer for Morbius? And how many times have we seen Morbius? I know that trailer like the back of my hand, but I've never seen the movie. And I never will get to because Sony hasn't released it. And Universal Studio did the same thing with Sing 2. It drives me up a wall. And it makes me feel like they don't know what a movie is. Emotion is meant for the silver screen, not for your trailers that you're showing me on YouTube. But don't get me wrong. I loved the Sing 2 trailer. And it made me so excited to finally get to see Sing 2, where I was very disappointed in the theater. Because, guys, my experience in watching Sing 2 was not good. Because this movie sucks. Matthew McConaughey sucks. Scarlett Johansson is only good as Black Widow. Taron Egerton sucks. And everybody else in this movie sucks. But if you're a little kid, you'd probably like it, if I'm being honest with you. But if you're an actual fan of the franchise, there's not going to be much here for you. Because, guys, this movie alienates the core fan base by giving you music exclusively from U2. Which, don't get me wrong, guys, I love U2. But it's not the same as getting pop hits from today and yesterday that I know and love. And I think this movie falters by centering the story around Bono. Because everybody knows who Bono is. But guys, Bono needs to go home. He needs to pack up his suitcase. And that's mostly how I feel about Sing 2. The problem is, it tries to resurrect the fun of the first thing. But I don't know if it gets it. It's a family thing for sure. but there's not a whole lot for the family to enjoy. The only parts that I actually laughed at were the scenes involving Gunther. Gunther is the pig, and he has an accent. And Gunther has a lot of really good jokes, which is more than I can say for Matthew McConaughey Koala. Because, guys, I don't know what happened to Buster Moon between these two movies, but he lost so much charisma that made the character work in the first movie. Guys, I felt heartbroken watching this movie. It's like an elongated episode of Glee. And my problem with that is I was excited for this movie. I cared more than I have about anything not related to Spider-Man. And I walked away feeling deflated, rejected, and ultimately disappointed. And I hate to say it, guys, but Sing 2 broke me. And I don't know if I'll ever be able to return to this franchise again. I feel so sad to say this because this franchise is something I grew up on. I've cared about these characters for as long as I could remember, and now they've been bastardized and turned into something that they never stood for. And I hate to see that happen to Gunther and Buster Moon, because these are some of my favorite characters that I've ever seen. And I don't know what's going to happen to me now. Once you get past the novelty of zoo animals sing popular songs, there's not much story there. Sing 2 is all glitz, but no heart, and it feels like a relic from another era, and oddly, a relic that really wants to sell you on U2 songs, a franchise that I don't think I can stand by anymore, as it keeps feeding me empty calories of a movie. Those who enjoyed the first Sing will probably enjoy this sequel, but it's also playing the same formulaic song, which proves less fun on auto-repeat. Simply put, it's a matter of been there, heard that. And that's the worst thing a Sing movie can be. Because, guys, the Sing franchise prides itself on originality. If Sing 2 teaches young viewers anything, it is to plan for a future in negotiating music licensing for films. Hopefully for one's better than this one, because the music in this movie was just never utilized. Sing 2 is another backstage, pastel-colored celebration of showbiz. Heart and humor that will delight young audiences, while the parents will get a kick out of each of the song mixes. Sing 2 really is at its best when you can just admire the animation and listen to classic music. The more you concern yourself with the plot, it becomes a lot harder to sit through, which is something that the Sing franchise shouldn't be. I went back recently and rewatched the first thing, and I realized I was elated by the adventures of Buster Moon and company. And by the end of that movie, I felt very inspired. We see characters like Taron Egerton escaping his family trauma in order to become singing. And we see the elephant get over her stage fright, something that we thought was impossible from the get-go, but by the end of the movie, she's able to perform in front of a crowd. This movie copies that formula by having the pig lady develop the stage fright now, but for longtime Sing fans, we know that this was a trope from the elephant. And guys, they're not the same character. But Sing 2 is better than the original. I wasn't actively hate-watching this one. It holds up admirably up to its dramatic end. However, the real draw is its comedy and music. Fans of the original should rejoice that this sequel lands. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's Sing 2 in a nutshell. It's a frolic of a film that is not only every bit as fun as the first, it also touches. The wonderful musical finale qualifies it as a genuine musical, not just a mere cartoon romp. The music numbers are truly spectacular. But what's the point? It gives us more of the same. What makes Sing 2 enjoyable are the tunes, and there's a lot of music. And it arrived on time for Christmas, but I'm still struggling to find out why parents subject their children and themselves to this jukebox drivel. And ultimately, I have mixed feelings about this. But let's talk about the cast, because like Sing, the first Sing, this movie has a stacked cast. Matthew McConaughey does an amazing job as Buster Moon, the koala. Reese Witherspoon does an amazing job as Rosita, the pig. Scarlett Johansson does an amazing job as Ash, the porcupine. Taron Egerton does an awesome job as Johnny, the gorilla. Bobby Cannavale is amazing as Jimmy Crystal. And Tori Kelly is Mina. Nick Kroll is as funny as ever, playing Gunter, the pig. Halsey is amazing as ever, playing Portia Crystal. Pharrell Williams. Nick Offerman plays Norman and is so good. And Loretta Wright, Nushi, is awesome. Eric Andre. Chelsea Pettery. Bono is amazing as Clay Calloway. Karen Crawley is great as Gareth Jennings. Adam Saunders plays Klaus Kickerbockerer and is amazing. Jennifer Buxton is great as always as Nana. Julia Davis as Linda LeBon is awesome. Peter Schreibernash as Big Daddy was so hot. Edgar Wright was additional voices in this movie, along with Wes Anderson. And those are two guys who I would follow to the end of the earth, and they would not make bad career mistakes. So this movie is a movie you enjoy as though it was a concert, and that's because it's pretty much what it is. It's a decent and entertaining sequel that you'll watch for the song numbers and the big concert at the end. And it was a nice end-of-the-year holiday fare. And the songs might get stuck in your head, but ultimately, the movie won't. The younger, who rarely have much to say, really loved it. As always, Sis was more loquacious. Great movie. Better music. In parts than the first one. I predicted 96% on Rotten Tomatoes. Also, the cast is good. It is designed to be a crowd-pleasing, and as a painless diversion, it works, even if the cynic in any viewer will recognize why it exists. And it's a genuine, make-you-feel-great movie with a bigger plot, better laughs, and more original heart. In every way, this is a sequel that outshines the original. But ultimately, Sing 2 is more of the same, which is good news for some, but it lacks the originality found in the first movie. Garth Jennings showed promise with the first Sing as one of the best filmmakers of my generation, but he really fumbled the football with this movie. Let's talk about the characters, because they're not as good this time around. And watching this sequel is how many must have felt seeing Dumb and Dumber 2. It tarnishes these characters that you grew up with, and the legacy that precedes them is now gone. A road once paved with gold is now tarnished with trashy pop songs, unidyllic voices, and Gunter the pig. Ultimately, I'm really split. I think Sing 2 broke me in a way that I haven't been broken before. And I really loved this franchise. And At times, it felt like I was the only fan, demanding an expansion of the story that I knew and loved. And I was really looking forward to this movie from the day it was announced. And I had a really hard time when it was delayed because of COVID. And I just couldn't accept that. And I imagined my own Sing 2. And ultimately, this movie did not live up to what I imagined. Because I pictured the characters going to a place bigger and better than the animal world they lived in. I pictured them moving on to New York City and taking over Broadway. And that was the movie fans wanted to see. But instead we got this. Just a rehash of the first movie that's as delightful as ever, and sometimes funnier and better than the first movie. But it didn't land with me as much. Did I just outgrow the Sing franchise? Or is this something that outgrew me? Is this what the people of today really want as their go-to franchise now? Because this isn't the franchise I remember having and growing up with. These characters feel like hollow people compared to what they once were. They used to be creative and innovative, and now they're just empty. And I don't know if I'll be back for Sing 3. But that's it, guys. Be sure to subscribe. Spider-Man 4 is coming out very soon. And it's called Spider-Man: The Cold Day in Hell. And it features a lot of characters that you know and love from the Marvel Comics cinematic universe. Be sure to subscribe and click notification and like. Goodbye. Vinny B out.